Velkommen alle sammen til dette fantastiske norskkurset. Hvis dere er klare til å lære dere språket til de modige vikingene, så er dere på rett sted. Vi har samlet informasjon og kunnskap fra de beste norsklærerne i hele landet for å gi dere en opplevelse dere sent vil glemme. Våre lærere har en eksplosiv kombinasjon av norskkunnskaper og humor, og vil sørge for at dere lærer norsk på en måte som er både morsom, effektiv og lærerik, selvfølgelig, fra å mestre de vanskeligste uttalelsene til å forstå de mest bizarre dialektene i Norge. Da snakker vi Jan Mayenland, blant annet, og Færøyene. Dere vil gå fra å være norsk nybegynnere til å bli norsk nordmenn, rett og slett. So, Jamie, I was just talking about the Norwegian course that you have attended and you're paying me a lot of money to do. This is private, of course, funded.
Yep.
And Jamie is the only student I have, but we have thousands of listeners, both in Norway, none in Sweden.
None in Sweden?
I think so. But we have a lot in US now.
Yeah,
and
US
UK.
Listeners. Yeah, some UK listeners.
And some in Bangladesh.
That's random. Bangladesh.
What, are they learning Norwegian in Bangladesh?
It might be because they want to hear you play the tabla every now and then.
Or do they work at the consulate and they need to, learn the language to communicate with the ambassador?
We could ask them. We could, I suppose we're asking them now. If you're listening from Bangladesh, let us get in contact with us and let us know why you're listening.
Why are you listening?
Yeah, why are you here? I mean, thank you for being here, but why? What is it you want?
So, theme of today is norske høytider.
Norske høytider.
Excuse me?
Norske høytider?
Høytider, like when the shark is coming?
High tide? Is it Norse high? I thought we were doing it about holidays, not high tide.
Yes, Norwegian Holidays. It's in Norwegian, it's norske høytider. Can you say that? Høytider.
Høytider.
Not high.
Like hoy.
Not hoy either. It's after, the phonetic alphabet, my friend?
Yes.
Can you take it very fast? Can you do it?
The whole thing? What, like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo?
Foxtrot, Golf Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo, Mike, November, Oscar, Papa, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, and Yankee, X-Ray, Zulu. But what comes after that are the three letters in Norwegian.
What are they? Oh, I mean, that was an impressive flex. Go on.
Ærlig, Østen, Åse.
Ærlig, Østen, Åse.
Yeah, so Æ, in the phonetic...
So, what's ærlig?
Ærlig is honest. What is happening? Somebody's calling you.
No one's calling me.
Is it from the Norwegian consulate? Have they found out that you are living?
I've not got any calls coming through.
The fugitive from England has been captured. It's on Vigi now. They've surrounded the house. It's a little bearded man, looked like someone from the Flåklypa. So ærlig means honest, and Østen means the east. And Åse is... What is Åse, do you think?
Åse?
Åse.
Åse. I've heard Åse before.
So if I say, I'm Åse...
You're Åse.
What do I tell you then?
Åse.
That I'm a transgender person who likes to identify myself as a woman called Åse.
Is that what it is?
So Åse, yeah,
Åse is a girl's name?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like Åse was a literal declaration of being
no, Åse is just
non-binary or something. Then.
It's just a name. It's just a
okay.
name. So ærlig, Østen, Åse. It's a very common word. That's why they're in the phonetic alphabet as Yankee Zulu.
I do. Do you know what? I know Åse because I've got a friend that's their surname, Åse.
Yeah, and you have lots of famous Åses also.
And we had that word of the week, Åseklipp.
Åse Klevland?
Åseklipp. Was it Åseklipp?
Det var potte.
Yeah.
It was something else.
In one of the episodes, wasn't it?
Totally different, yes.
Oh, sorry.
So I think we need to do the first season one more time so you remember the episodes. So norske høytider. So Norwegian holidays, there are many Norwegian holidays, as it is in Europe.
Yep.
And in Norway, when you work to have more free.
More time free.
Yeah. And when a Pakistani person works, he works to have more time to work.
That seems a bit counterproductive.
So
I suppose it's cultural.
Yeah, very cultural. So in Norway, when you have free, you're totally free. In Norway, when immigrants have free, they work more. So they work to work more. Just work as much as they can.
Like a second or third job as a hobby.
Yeah. So it's all about working and earning money. So in Norway, you have a lot of holidays and a lot of free. And even the school system is like, you go to school and then, it's a holiday. And there's another, it's a winter holiday. Oh, no, it's an Eastern holiday. Now the Eastern holiday is gone. Now it's some other bullshit holiday. And it's, so you almost get a feeling of that it's just as much holidays as it is school.
Oh, wow.
So that's very nice. And you have the same holidays as you have in UK, I think. You have the New Year's.
Yeah.
New Year?
I was going to ask about New Year, actually, later.
So New Year,
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I've noticed about New Year is that in terms of the celebration, Norwegians are fucking mental when it comes to fireworks, which is pretty cool. Like in the UK, you get fireworks and you do get displays and that, but Norwegians just go up an extra level and you just see them go. And is that the only time you're allowed to use fireworks, isn't it? New Year.
Yeah, but they were crazy before when there weren't so many rules. Now there are a lot of rules. For 15 years ago, you could just go totally crazy in the capital.
Yeah.
And you could just shoot fireworks wherever you wanted. And people got it in the eye, in the air, and faces blew up. And
cool.
And of course, young people like the Russ.
The Russ.
The Russ. We'll talk about the Russ in another episode.
Yeah, I think so. It's a good episode.
It's a youth. They loved to, because you have rockets like an army, and to shoot rockets at targets like people, of course, is fun, but also towards shops, toward taxis, towards like you have a park in Oslo called Vigelandsparken, which is Frognerparken. It's a big park by Gustav Vigeland.
Is that in Oslo? Or?
Yeah, that's in Oslo, and it's lots of naked. The
naked baby statue park.
Yeah, Angry Baby statue park. So there's statues, and there was a period of time that it was very popular to just aim at those figures because it looked very cool to just because you have like human targets, like shooting practice. So it got banned.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise. I mean, I've been late to work before it's another Croydon story. I've been late to work before because there was a fight at the bus stop and there was a gang of kids shooting fireworks at each other. And I had to phone my work and be like, I'm going to be late. And they were like, why are you going to be late? And I was like, there's a gang fight at the bus stop. Like kids like shooting fireworks. And they were like, oh, send us a video to prove it. So I filmed a little bit of it and texted it over. And then one of the kids has run over and goes, what are you doing? Why are you filming us? Like sort of thing. And I was like, oh, he's going to kick off. And I just said, look, I was just trying to prove that I'm going to be late to work because you're at the bus stop. And then he sort of realised and he was like, oh, sorry. And then he just turned around and just ran straight back into this fight. And I was like, oh, God. Yeah,
in the 90s, there was a big fight between some Pakistani kids, I was one of them, and Nazis. So we were on the each side of the Frogner Park and shooting rockets at each other as like a miniature kind of a war.
Was there a lot of Nazis in Norway then, back then?
If there were...
were there a lot of Nazis?
Oh, yeah, a lot. It was... and the whole Norwegian mentality was totally different in the 80s. Because immigrants for Norwegians were like the way people have their like they're beggars kind of. They don't have any rights and don't touch him. He's an immigrant kind of.
That's strange. Although I had a similar experience when I went to school actually in the 90s because I was one of about 10 kids that wasn't white English. Like completely. I mean, I can trace my family back. I think it's the like 15th century on the English side.
Oh, and they're still alive?
No, they're just like record stopped.
Okay.
I think, but
you could trace them to addresses and phone numbers.
Some zombies that live down the road, and but still, because of the black side of the family, I used to get a lot of racism. I used to get like swastikas drawn on my desk, and people would spit on me and stuff like that.
And they still do, don't they?
Yeah, just walking down the road.
But that's just because of your personality.
Oh, cheers.
Or is it? That's what the argument is.
Is that what it is? That I'm just a bad person?
The people will say that ex-Nazis often go out and say assholes are assholes no matter what color, and often we had fight with blah 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 because of the personality, not just to renvaske.
Well, they should be fighting amongst each other then, really, if you think about it, because they're some of the biggest assholes you'll ever meet.
So you have the New Year's Eve, and it's the celebration is it's actually quite boring because often when New Year's Eve, when you're having a New Year's party, I have realized that many people don't have a plan. That's one of the big holidays, the day where they've planned the least. So when I ask people, "Oh, what are you doing on New Year's Eve?" "Oh, I don't know." So you're not having a dinner or going to someone? Maybe I'm having a dinner. I should invite someone. So I feel that that's the day, the time of the year where you actually feel kind of the loneliest, unless you're invited to a big New Year's party, which is.
That makes sense.
But it's a bit complicated that day. So
I think in terms of party nights, New Year's is the worst night in the year for parties.
And you have to be up till 12.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just everyone has these weird expectations about how great a night it's going to be.
And then they're going into a new year.
It never meets the expectations.
Yeah, I hate it. So it's funny boring.
I think I've always found that the best New Year's I've ever had have been just really chilled, really relaxed, no emphasis on partying and just doing something fun. Like this year, for example, we went to a cabin in the mountains and we played a murder mystery with some friends that came to the cabin. It was a really good time. It was really good fun, nice and relaxed, and just no pressure. And then we went outside, and even though we were in the middle of the mountains in a log cabin, there was still fireworks everywhere. Like
in the mountains.
Yeah, just other people in log cabins, obviously, just setting fireworks off.
Being alone in a cabin and shooting fireworks.
Yeah, just watching. But it was a really good view, obviously, because we were quite high up on the mountain. Obviously, it was a nightmare driving there and back.
So stuffed turkey is the food, which is the most common. Turkey.
See, that's the Christmas food in the UK.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Christmas food. Yeah.
And the one thing. Oh, this is my massive pet peeve about Norwegian New Year, actually, and that's Waldorf salad.
You like it or you hate it?
No, I hate it.
You hate Waldorf salad?
I just don't see. It's such a nothing food. It's just excessive amounts of mayonnaise and then a few extra bits, and it's maybe a barbecue or something like that, but not a New Year spread.
I like Waldorf salad so much that I was in the summer. I was about to change my name to Sahid Waldorf Ali.
Very nice.
Just to have a funny middle name.
Oh.
But I haven't yet. But it's very easy to change your name now. You can just go into the internet and you you fill out a form, 2 seconds. Suddenly you are Jamie the Jeppe Andreasen Andrews.
Was that a hint there that you want me to change my name to Jeppe Andreasen?
I've already done it. I've adopted you. Because it's very easy to adopt too. You just fill out the form and suddenly I'm your stepfather.
Oh, God. That's terrifying.
And that means that I can hit you. Because in England... and if you go to the police...
Have you been taking notice of my actual dad? It means I can hit you now.
No, but
the belt.
In England, it's still common to hit...
I don't think it's common unless you've got arsehole parents.
very,
But yeah, I mean, really, I think most parents that hit their kids, it's because they don't have the mental capacity to control them properly.
Yes.
And have raised them or read up anything. I don't know. I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, but you just shouldn't. As a kid that got hit a lot by parents, I just don't agree with it. I think it's not very nice. It didn't develop anything but some sort of lasting dislike for your parents when you grow up.
So what do you do instead of hitting the children?
I don't know.
Put
maybe talk to them, explain to them
in their milk.
Just explain to them, and teach them and
so
understand. And
don't lit up the house. Don't burn don't throw your television in the garbage.
Yeah, I mean that's a good lesson, isn't it?
You killed your sister. You shouldn't do that.
Maybe there's some extreme points there, but you still wouldn't hit them, would you? You just take them somewhere.
Enough.
Serious.
You have 2 sisters left. Now you should behave.
Well, you wouldn't hit them. You would just, I don't know what you would do. What would you do if that
strangle
happened?
them?
Yeah, you'd strangle them.
But don't hit them. That's
okay.
Too...
That
No, So no.
Moving on. So
Yeah. So turkey is the thing.
Yeah.
But I don't like turkey.
No. What do you eat instead?
A cheeseburger? No, I don't know. Chocolate? It depends.
Yeah.
But
Mitsubishi turbos.
me with my Pakistani background, what would you eat instead? I would always instead eat some curries.
Some curries?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
That
used to be one of the racist things I'd have shouted at me as a kid, actually, would be curry man.
The curry man?
Yeah, curry man, or I just eat a lot of curry or something like that. It used to be some of the racism I used to receive.
That sounds like a compliment. The curry man.
Yeah, it is now, isn't it? And then
thank you.
It was because I was like a fat kid. I wasn't even that fat, but I was fat enough to be called curry man. And then the other guy that was about my size, he wasn't that fat either. He used to get called the pie man because he was white. So it was regional.
He was from Pieland?
Fat abuse. Yeah.
So
Pieland, yeah. Maybe he gives a pie massage.
Which happy ending?
Yeah.
But what
happy ending.
If somebody put a gun to your head and said, you must choose something to be called, what would you prefer to be called? Curry man or Packy or
Well, I got called both actually.
In the same word?
Well, no, it'd be by the same people.
The Pac-Man.
But the thing is, I don't have the black side of my family.
What hurts the most?
They came from South America, so I would get called
you're South American.
Yeah, I'd find that funny actually. I would be like, yeah, you've actually named half of me right. That's impressive.
You North Colombian?
Yeah. How dare you do your research and your racism?
You person from the Venezuelan border?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it affected me, I think, in my early teens, but then I just stopped caring. Like, because I just thought it was a bit stupid and a bit dumb. So I just
let's get back to the Norwegian norske høytider, please.
Sorry. So fireworks.
Fireworks, yes.
You like in the UK, you have fireworks day or fireworks night even,
which is not at the New Year.
It's 5th of November.
Okay.
And that's or Guy Fawkes night is what it's really called, and it's
what's that? Guy Fawkes.
Basically, a guy called Guy Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament and got caught, and so every 5th of November, or like closest weekend to that time, you have fireworks night where you light a massive bonfire and everyone goes and you put a guy on the bonfire, which is essentially just like a stuffed scarecrow with clothes on or something like that, just an effigy. And then you set Guy on fire and you set off loads of fireworks to like represent all the explosions and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Huh.
So that's when the UK tends to go nuts with fireworks. And like there's some funny stories. I get probably my favourite fireworks story or Guy Fawkes story. Some friends of mine years ago, so they were in their 20s, decided that they were going to make a guy over a year using only clothes that they'd stolen from one-night stands, and it turned into this open bet for the year.
They steal clothes from one-night
they have a one-night stand, then they try and steal the clothing. And
why would they do that?
well, so they can make this Guy Fawkes to go on the thing, and it was a competition so you could get the most ridiculous item of clothing, and then it just turned into this this thing. And one of my friends, I'm not going to name her, but she managed to get enough clothes to make an entire Guy Fawkes on her own. And I just remember being really impressed just how like how much she'd managed to just brazenly steal all this clothing. And I just asked her, I was like, how do you manage that? And she's like, I don't care. I'll put their jeans on before I leave and then say I'm stealing these. And most guys would just laugh.
That's crazy.
And then I'd walk out with them. And then, yeah, and then I've stolen them and like, there's nothing they could do. And I was just like, fucking hell. I knew guys were easy, but I didn't know it was that bad.
So you have the Easter. The Easter
Yes.
is the next, and the Easter, Norwegian Easter. Then you eat Eastern candy.
Yeah.
Probably you do too, with
Yeah.
an egg.
Right, so here's a question. How do kids, or probably boys mostly, open their Easter eggs?
How they open it?
Yeah, is there a specific way?
No. Or I don't remember. Is it in a Easter sock?
Don't you
or-
get the egg and crack it against your head in the most childish sort of like...
No, it's made of cardboard.
Oh. Yeah, in the UK they're made of chocolate.
The big ones?
Yeah, the eggs, they're chocolate eggs.
Oh, here you can buy cardboard eggs and you can fill it with whatever you want, so you can make a tailor-made egg.
I think you get that as well, but normally you just get this monstrosity of extra packaging.
And crack it to your head.
Yeah, and then you take the egg out of the plastic like packaging and stuff and you just crack it on your head, then you take the tin foil off and...
Oh. And of course you have the lamb leg stuff.
Leg of lamb? Yeah.
That they eat. But that's more everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
Because, religious stuff.
Yeah.
And but 17th of May is one of the... that's not celebrated all around the world, except where there are Norwegians, though.
Yes. So I found out about the 17th of May when I was at university. And I was sat in the library. And then all of a sudden, just this train of Norwegians just walked through the library, all wearing really nice clothes, just marching and singing.
Where was the university?
In Cornwall.
In England?
Yeah, in the UK. And they were just singing and marching, and they just walked around the library singing in this long train of Norwegians.
What were they singing? In Norwegian?
Yeah, they were all singing in Norwegian, and then they just vanished from the library, and then a few of us were just like, what the fuck is going on? And then we find out about the 17th of May, and then like every year when you'd hear the singing and the marching, you'd be like, oh, it must be 17th of May again. Because obviously, the Norwegians are doing it again, sort of thing. So it was quite fun.
Yeah, 17th of May. 17th of May is quite fun. It's for me the most popular dish is a 17th of May breakfast
Because of the champagne.
Yeah, that's right. You meet up with people at like 9-10 o'clock, and then you start having a cult table with lots of dishes with stuff.
Salmon, scrambled eggs.
Yeah, all that stuff, and champagne and beers, of course. So by 12 you're drunk, and then you go out and you meet other people that you haven't seen before in Oslo Centrum, and everybody's drunk, and it's quite fun.
Yeah, I did my first proper 17th of May last year, and it was what was interesting because before that, because of COVID, there was no you sort of just watched it on TV and it was pretty underwhelming, and everyone was a bit depressed because they couldn't enjoy it. Because I didn't really get it until last year when I experienced one,
Right?
and it was great. It was really good fun.
17. Mai.
Because you can day drink, and then you go out and then you watch a parade.
Can you say 17. Mai?
17. Mai.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's 17th of May.
Yes.
So you go out and you watch this parade, and everyone walks. And the one in Horton made me laugh because the parade walked off, and then they walked back again. So you get to see the parade twice. And then we're like, okay, that's cool. And then everyone goes to this massive park, and there's a few speeches, and then after the speeches, everyone goes home and has like a barbecue or something to eat, and then they come back out again to watch another parade, and that's the Russ kids. And then the Russ kids are on these buses with fucking crazy music playing, and they're just all very drunk. And it's just quite funny watching the state of them.
So it's a lot of parades. And the thing that distinguishes Norwegian, Union Independence Day with, what's the Grunnlov?
Grunnlov?
The law, whatever. The difference between Norwegian 17th of May
and the difference between
and any other country in the world is that Norway is not showing off their army.
That's very true. Although you do get the gun clubs and every other club known to man, they show everything but their army, I think, from what I saw at the parade last time.
Yeah. There's no army involved in the parades.
Any society whatsoever, if you've got an excuse, you'll go and march on this. And it seems to be a way of advertising the club or the society just as much as it is being a part of the parade.
Yeah. And sausages and ice cream is... they sell a lot of that.
Yeah.
And the problem with 17th May is that the prices go up on everything. So if you go to a restaurant to eat something, it's suddenly twice as price, and the beer costs over like 200 kroner. So it's crazy, but it's a big money making machine, and they know that everybody's drunk when they get into the restaurant and to the bar from before. So they'll pay anything. So
for the record, 200 kroners is about £17 in English, I think. Off the top of my head, £16-17.
Yeah, and you have Christmas. Christmas, you eat pinnekjøtt or ribbe. Pinnekjøtt is lamb sticks. What do you call it?
Ribs. So they're dried, salted lamb ribs, and you cook them by steaming them, and they're really one of my favourite foods in Norway. Actually, pinnekjøtt.
Yeah, so you got two kind of people in Norway. You got the ribbe people and the pinnekjøtt people, and they're like rivals. So there are some people who just eat ribbe, which is like it's pork.
It's
skin.
just a pork. Yeah, it's just a pork belly with crackling
with the skin on it. Like eating half a leather jacket.
Yeah, so in the UK, it would just be like a normal Sunday roast if you're having pork.
Yeah.
There's no massive differences.
Yeah, except that it's one of the most unhealthiest food that you can eat. So if you eat that every Sunday...
Well, then, like in the UK, you'd eat different... Like sometimes you'd have chicken, sometimes you might have pork, you might have lamb, beef. Like lots of beef, actually.
So basically, it's these two dishes. It's pinnekjøtt people, and it's quite tasty.
Do you get people that don't care and just eat both?
Oh yeah. Lots of because you have Christmas Eve, and you have the first Christmas Day and second Christmas Day. So people usually mix.
The other thing is in Norway you get Christmas beers and you get Christmas sodas.
How do you know all that?
Isn't a thing.
Aren't you learning Norwegian?
Well, it's only because I've been made to drink them, and then I got asked which was my favourite Christmas soda, and I didn't realise how big and important a question it is.
Oh yeah, we have a whole episode about alcohol, Norwegian alcohol, where we'll talk a lot about that kind of beverage that you drink.
Yeah.
During Christmas, it's lots of heavy stuff.
What I did is I got all the Christmas sodas and I poured a little bit into one glass, and then I just drank that, and just the looks I got. Like, what are you doing?
So Christmas, Norwegian Christmas is, I don't know how the English Christmas is. Do you go to the church or...
I guess if you're religious. In the UK, the main Christmas celebration is on the 25th, not the 24th.
Okay.
And The only real TV thing I guess anyone watches is the Queen's speech. So it'll be the King's speech for the first time this year, which will be interesting.
The question is, since you're becoming Norwegian, to try to find out what the philosophy behind all these things are. So why are Norwegians celebrating Christmas when they're not Christian?
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, there's a lot of churches though in Norway. So
or why are people in all over Europe celebrating Christmas when they're not Christian?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a very good question, and that's a bit important to
I think
get into the Norwegian mentality.
From a UK mindset, and I don't know how many people I'm speaking for here, it's more just an excuse to meet up with friends and family and have a day where you get to appreciate each other and give each other presents and stuff like that.
But can't you?
You could do it any day.
And remove all those cultural or religious stuffs?
Yeah, I don't like the religious stuff in Christmas. But I think Christmas is quite commercial anyway. So
and people love Christmas. Norwegians love Christmas. They talk about Christmas with the atmosphere and the magic and stuff from the childhood and the family meets and very little talk about Jesus' birth, but they have a miniature.
Well, you have the Silver Boys, and everyone watches that choir thing in the church.
Oh yeah, and you have a Christmas tree, and you sing Christmas songs very often, and and so it is. So if you were Jesus and you came to whichever house that aren't Christian, you would think that they're celebrating you.
Yeah, it's it's very well.
Why would you celebrate something you don't believe in? That's the question.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's an excuse, isn't it, to just have fun? But the thing that I find funny about Norwegian, not funny, but was very different, was the traditions that you have. So everyone watches this program called Dinner for One, and it's this black and white TV show. It's only about 5 minutes, and it's in English. It's an English production, I think, and it's just about a guy, a waiter serving, or a butler serving his mistress, like he's the lady of this manor or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and he drinks for each person that's not there.
It's been a tradition for many years.
And apparently it's only Norway that love it at Christmas, and Germans love it at New Year, I think. But I'd never heard of it until I'd come to Norway. And then the other thing is, in the morning you have to watch this thing called the Christmas, like a Cinderella thing, I think it is, and then something about a missing star, and it's this. Is it a Czech program or a Czech TV production? But it's got this old Norwegian guy doing.
Tre nøtter til Askepott. Yeah.
Yeah, and this old Norwegian guy that does all of the voices. It's really quite fun actually. It's quite. But I remember being forced to sit down and you must watch this, Jamie. It is tradition, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, if you want to become a Norwegian, you need to appreciate both those shows.
Yeah, so they made me watch it, and then in the evening I had to watch the Silver Boys, which is just a load of choir boys singing. In a church, which was a bit weird, and then Dinner for One I had to watch as well. It was quite weird that, and the one that made me laugh the most was on the telly. They had a slow cooking ribber in the oven on the TV, and you could see it slow cooking. And then next to the TV where we were at the missus's parents, there's a ribber cooking in the oven.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, why have you got it on the telly? You've got an oven where it's actually cooking that you can just go and check if you're that bothered about it. I don't understand why you need it on the TV as well as... There's
a concept on the Norwegian TV that's just exploded the last years, and it's minute for minute, and it's about showing a boat from going from A to B the whole way. So you can watch 11 hours of a boat going from A to B, or a train trip from Bergen to Oslo, 11 hours. That's a TV program.
That sounds
or
like
just a turkey slow cooking for 5-6 hours, and these shows have become very popular. But still, my question is, why would you celebrate Christmas if you're not Christian?
I guess if you like it and you want an excuse to.
And because you're then indirectly celebrating Jesus' birth. And so what I'm wondering is about the sensitivity readers in England. Do you see any resemblance there?
To
Celebrating Christianity without being Christian?
No, I don't think anyone, like, for me, it had nothing to do with Christianity when I celebrated. The best Christmas I ever had was in 2008, and it was a house party with me and my mates that lasted 4 days.
Yeah.
And the Christmas number one, it was 2008, 2009, I can't remember.
But do you see the resemblance between sensitivity readers
No?
and celebrating Christmas?
No?
Because both issues have something to do with respecting or not respecting cultural
culture.
and historical.
Oh, I see what you mean. So the hypocrisy that you'll point out something's culturally insensitive in some ways, but if you don't celebrate Christmas from a religious point of view, you're being culturally insensitive to the Christian people who the holiday belongs to.
Yeah, that's an interesting theme.
Is that what you...
Yeah, I'm just asking because I feel that there is some resemblance there.
I suppose there is some hypocrisy when you look at it from a very black and white. It's the same category.
Because celebrating Christmas as a non-Christian involves like recognizing the holiday as a cultural tradition.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy the gathering of family and friends, but you also have to respect the religious aspects of it.
I've never thought about it.
You can't like so people go to the church even though they're not religious. They're baptizing their kids and even without being Christians, but they're respecting all the.
It's a bit like people that want church weddings, so they go to a church for like 6 or 7 weeks before to pretend that they're a part of that church, and then the moment they get their church wedding, they never go back to that church or never practice the religion again. Because you get that sometimes as well, which is a bit strange.
And you have the sensitivity readers are basically they're hired to or employed to ensure that books and stuff are fits today's multicultural and fat public.
I completely think that's fine as well. I just I never thought about the potential hypocrisy within celebrating Christian holidays if you're not Christian. But then I think there's a fine line, isn't there, between whether it becomes a cultural holiday or a Christian holiday. Like the origin could be one thing, but the reality could be that it switched to a cultural thing.
But the Bible has come in lots of new versions. Do you think it's been sensitivity readers?
I don't think anything like the Bible's been sensitivity read. I don't know enough about it though. So.
There's a message from abroad.
Yeah, hi there. It's Al here from Camborne in Cornwall, over in the UK. I'm curious. We've got a regional speciality here in Cornwall, which is called a pasty. Is there a Norwegian equivalent thereof? What is it? And you score bonus points if it involves herrings.
So that's...
What? What did he just say? I didn't understand one single word.
Al from Cornwall.
Al?
From Cornwall in the UK.
A-L. Artificial.
Yeah, Al, like short for Alistair.
Alistair.
He asks, is there the Norwegian equivalent to the food a pasty? So a pasty is...
Which dialect is it?
Oh, so that was Cornish. So he's from Cornwall, and a pasty is, like I said, in the rest of the UK, a pasty is a Cornish pasty, but in Cornwall it's just a pasty. And what it is it's normally beef and potato and carrot cooked and then put into a pastry, which is then crimped around the edges. So it looks like a crimped calzone. And it used to be eaten by miners in Cornwall. So they would open the pasty up and then they would eat the insides. It's really nice, actually. Very, very nice. So Alistair's question was, is there an equivalent to a pasty in Norway, and bonus points if it involves herrings.
Earrings?
Herrings, sill.
Still, no, not at all.
But is
No
there anything
equivalent.
like pastry equivalent to like a calzone or a...
It's a calzone, yeah.
But that's Italian. Is there a Norwegian equivalent?
Yeah, no, it's just calzone. It's like in England, the UK. If you go, most of the restaurants are French, and you don't find. You find more international restaurants than
Norwegian
English restaurants in England.
No, you don't. Fish and chips.
I just googled it.
Yeah, fish and chips. There's more fish and chips than there are McDonald's in the UK.
But fish and chips, is that a restaurant?
Yeah, it's food, isn't it? You can go and sit down and eat in fish and chip shops.
Isn't that gatekjøkken?
Gadeshokken.
Like when you go out and you buy a burger,
Fast food.
fast food thing.
Yeah, but they're called fast food restaurants, aren't they?
Oh, I'm talking about restaurants. Restaurants.
As in sit down meal.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you can sit down in some fish and chip shops and eat at a table and stuff like that.
But I think London is famous for all the international restaurants more than UK food, isn't it? Curries.
Well, like
Isn't
the dog
that the
and duck.
national dish?
It is one of the national dishes, yeah, tikka masala. But that came from the north, actually, of the UK.
But from an Indian guy.
Yeah, from an Indian guy.
Yeah.
Go colonialism.
So calzone is what you can get here. They're not so. Also, Norway, as you don't have so much Norwegian restaurants, and if you have Norwegian restaurants, they're very expensive, and it's like fish meals and stuff. But Norway and Oslo is famous for international cuisine as well.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's more multicultural. I mean, Norway did get voted the worst national food of the world last year in Taste Atlas, didn't it? So that's probably another reason why.
Yeah, because there are Norwegian dishes and stuff that you need to. You can't just eat them. You need to practice. You need to eat, and it's like drinking alcohol. You can't just start with the whiskey and like it. You need to practice it a bit. It's much fermented food and lots of other kind of stuff that you need to have a bit. What do you call it? A trained taste.
Trained your palate. Yeah, like if you were drinking whiskey, you wouldn't start with Laufraigue, for example.
Laufraigue.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a type of,
So no, we don't have
There's
any
no Norwegian equivalent to a pasty.
No Norwegian equivalents to pasty at all, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we have to say about that. And then we need to go further. Word of the week, and this is this word that Jamie, it's Jamie's favorite word from last week. What's that?
Hoorah.
Excuse me?
Hoorah.
Hoorah?
Yeah, hoorah. You know, like, because we...
Which?
You know, like when you're at a parade
one?
or something like that and everyone shouts, hoorah.
Oh, like hooray.
Yeah, hooray. That's the equivalent, I guess.
Hoorah. Hoorah. Yeah.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. But some people say hora.
Hora.
And that's typical immigrants at 17th of May roping hora, hora, hora. And that means hooker, hooker, hooker.
Yeah, see, I actually said that and I had to make sure that I said hoorah instead of hoorah.
Yeah.
I got told off for that. So
hurrah, you like that word? Why do you like it?
Hoorah, because it's fun and you just get to, it's one of probably the few times you can be really loud in Norway and no one will give you funny looks.
Especially
on the 17th.
Yeah, if you say it other days than 17th, hurrah!
Yeah, you couldn't just sit on the bus and do it.
Hooray! Except if you win in some lottery stuff on your cell phone, you just won 1 million. Okay, so hurrah is a word. Hurrah. It's a nice word.
Yeah, and I just like the fact that it's so close to hooker that you've got to be very careful with it.
Not if you're Norwegian, because then you know there's a big difference between hurrah and hora. But as an Englishman, yes, of course. But it's two completely different words from a Norwegian perspective.
Yeah, for me it sounds very similar.
Why are you so quiet?
I was waiting for the next bit. The button.
The Norwegian food button.
Yeah, the Norwegian. Are you gonna press it? Yeah. Is he?
What the fuck? Where is Norwegian?
I don't know. Where it's always been, I guess.
Isn't it good Norwegian food?
Isn't it good Norwegian food? So we have this post. Vi har den faste posten her hver uke. Vi skal teste ut ny mat. Jamie skal smake nye retter, norske retter, ting han ikke har smakt før. Og så skal han gi terningkast til de rettene. Han har smakt alt fra makrell i tomat til First Price ost. Og i dag skal du prøve påskeegg. Eastern eggs.
Eastern eggs.
Eastern eggs. So påskeegg is very good. It fits perfect for this episode. So this is a påskeegg. And can you tell me, have you tried this before?
I've not tried it before, and I'm just going to quickly rip the cardboard off so it doesn't...
Rip it off and try it. It's purple. It looks like an ordinary egg box.
It looks like an ordinary egg box, but it's...
full of sugar.
Chocolate Easter eggs inside.
Full of sugar, and it's full of palm oil.
Palm oil?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Wasn't there a thing about palm oil in foods in...
Yeah, it's been lots of debates in Norway where influencers and people have like tried to ban palm oil. But if you ban palm oil, you banned most of food, or especially
most
fast
of the processed
food.
food
Yeah, so you can't. It's almost. But there was one influencer who almost managed to ban it, or she managed to ban it, and her argument was that palms. It's unhealthy for you, and the orangutans in Middle Asia, they climb on those trees. So where do they go?
That makes sense. And isn't she the one that had a controversy recently? Isn't that the one, or am I talking about someone?
Oh yeah, had some controversy. Always, influencers have controversies all the time because they're ordinary people, often without any education, but they're good to write. They're good writers.
Yeah.
And they like to party. So the more you party, if you're a celebrity, the more trouble.
More likely you're going to get caught partying.
Yeah. So what do you think about this chocolate?
So the chocolate itself is very nice. It tastes a bit Kinder Eggy. And then you've got this, you're supposed to have a spoon, but we don't have one, so I'm just going to put my finger in it. Like this fondant, I guess, inside the egg.
You like it? Because I don't think the audience want to hear
it's very
eating
creamy
sounds.
And it's very sugary. Oh, it's really sugary. Oh, I can feel that going to the top of my head.
Yeah, it's a lot of sugar. I don't like it at all.
You're not keen? You don't want one?
No thanks. And
Okay.
I can get diabetes from one of these.
I can actually feel the sugar hitting the back of my eyes.
And these are very popular in Norway.
so
They're like
strong.
extremely popular things, a part of the Norwegian culture. For me, it's no.
Yeah. I would give that a... This is the lowest I think I'm ever going to give a sweet thing, because normally desserts and stuff get quite high from me on the dice. I think I'm going to give this a 2.
A 2.
Because it's so sweet.
Homework.
Oh, sorry for interrupting. Homework is your post, Jamie, but I have done some homework.
Oh.
Yes, I've made a Norwegian Christmas song for you, and I've used a lot of budget on this, and a friend of mine, musician Shaun Bartlett, has helped me, and I have a choir, and I have musicians, and do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I mean it's March, it's Easter, and is
Very
that why
good.
we got the cheese the other week?
Yes, so here it is.
Language power. Language power.
Husk å følge oss på Facebook, på Instagram. Facebook-gruppen heter Language Power. Hvis det noe du lurer på, noe du har lyst til å spørre om, det var bare å sende inn en voice message, så skal vi ta det opp i programmet. Hva som helst.
Happy Easter.
Language power.